The source of male insecurity. From the author. Tune that helped me write this insightful conversation between two buddies. Both Rimko and Maro are pure creations of my delusional reality. And the tune is Cowboy Junkie's Sweet Jane. What the hell are you trying to say? Rimko got obviously rattled. He stood up, walked up to the only window in the room, and fixed his gaze on the crowds rushing through the downtown crossing. What you are saying sounds like a pathetic loser, unable to make neither heads nor tails of his own life. Sure it does, replied Maro. That's a good thing. If I'm wrong, you won't find it difficult to come up with a counter-argument. Rimko turned around, crossed his arms and said, You're right, I'm all ears. I've had my share of females. Most back in the day, Maro started. Wouldn't have guessed that if you were the only male on Earth. That's precisely my point, said Maro with a smirk. You wouldn't have believed it even 10 or 20 years ago. We as men have no tools in our box to recognize that. Fine, I'm gonna shut up now, said Rimko, sitting down. He already thought about some exceptions to this rule, but it's hard to call gay men real men. He said nothing and decided to listen. Maro continued. All men feel constant sexual urge. We feel it when we are doing the dishes, taking a shower, walking down the street or looking into females' eyes. We all consider most females to be potential sexual partners. Not that we want to fuck them all, but we wouldn't be opposed to that if it became a viable option. Usually we don't know which female will say yes. They just keep surprising us every step along the way. Something changes when we are in a relationship, but not everything. The only situation when men don't think about sex is when we meet an unattractive female. She may be too tall, too fat, too aggressive, or simply too ugly. And that's it. Females, on the other hand, function in a very different world. On average, females find no more than 20% males attractive, and they have much lower level of testosterone, the thing that makes humans want to screw. Women are constantly surrounded by men they consider unattractive, to say the least. They don't think about sex nowhere near as much as we do, partly because they don't have as much external stimuli. Now, the male insecurity in a relationship comes from painting the world with a broad brush. We innately think that women want to sleep around as much as men because they are always willing to make out and fool around with us, their partners. Men think that women are willing to get sexual with men as often as men with women, which is basically all the time. We find it incredibly strange not to think sexually about the other gender. Women find it strange to be constantly thinking about it. So, men feel insecure about their partner not because of what that partner is doing, but rather because of the way they see their world. We have a slanted vision of female world. We think that if women meet 10 males in one day, that is a potential for betrayal, because men know how hard it is to decline any form of physical interaction with women. Handshake, hugging, blowing kisses, smiling, looking from different angles, crossing legs. All those things often give us a hard-on, whether we are planning on it or not. Hence, men always consider other men to be a threat, and women laugh at it most of the time, because most men don't ever turn them on. Most of the time women function in a non-sexual reality. Part of the problem, the one that makes men still unable to control their insecurity despite being aware of all that, is that we don't know who women find attractive. It happens only occasionally, and often we are wrong about our assessment, or so women would have us believe. In other words, we aren't sure what made our partner attracted to us. Neither do we know what makes men attractive to females in general. And please, most of us don't look like Chip and Dales and we still get laid. Go figure that one out. So we assume that any man can be considered attractive by our partner, potentially. Women can spot an attractive female within a fraction of a second. Men don't have such mechanism when it comes to the same sex. So, at the end of the day, the incessant need to fuck, the constant voice in our head saying, hot legs, nice butt, spectacular rack, is our inevitable downfall, our imminent insecurity about our relationship. Maro paused and took a sip of coffee. What about cheating? We all know both men and women cheat, said Rimko. Sure, they both do, but the process of getting to cheating is very different for men and women. Men cheat for two reasons. Either they are unable to say no, or they don't love their partner. I'll give you an example for each case from my own experience. One night I was about to cheat on my girlfriend, and I suddenly realized that I had no feelings for her. So I broke up with her right away and went back to the girl I wanted to make out with. That's what I call lack of love. Another time I was about to cheat, the opposite happened. It was a party at some place where both of us, me and my former girlfriend, were present. We wouldn't spend a big portion of the party together. She was busy getting stuff ready. We were, after all, at her place, and it was her birthday, while I was chatting with her friends, almost all females. You can imagine how attractive females in our country are at that age. I'm talking 17 and 18. In my humble opinion, beauty peak for females. Back to the point. I had an opportunity to make out with one of them. I mean, we were both not even talking to each other. We were sitting next to each other and just staring into each other's eyes. For minutes. I remember the songs changed a few times. Now, we didn't. She leaned in, and somehow, by some external force, I leaned away, stood up, and walked away to hug my girlfriend, who was in another room. She'd never have known even if we actually kissed. That's what I mean when I say be in love. Women, on the other hand, cheat when they get turned on by a guy, which, as far as I know, doesn't happen very often. Remember, they live in a sad, non-sexual world, and that's why they clutter their homes and cars with all the embellishments they can find. Or they simply don't love their partner. Unfortunately, as far as I'm concerned, neither has ever happened to me. No girlfriend of mine has ever admitted cheating on me, period. Do I believe it? Come on, let's be real. Okay, let's go back to the male insecurity, said Rimko. You know that not all men feel insecure in their relationship. Apparently they trust their partner and lack nothing in the bedroom at night. I wouldn't be so sure about the second part, but the lack of insecurity is spot on. I completely agree with that point. Now, think where this security comes from. What kind of guys feel secure? That's right. It's the guys who know for a fact that they have options. Only guys who have been offered sex by women can feel secure. Mind you, it's not an everlasting trait to be desired. If you know what makes women attracted to you, it's only part of success. And forget money, that's not it. Money comes into the picture only when a woman is looking for stability, care and protection from the world that seems unjust to females. Once they get the money, dude, the need to screw doesn't just evaporate. Bear in mind that such a dude will find it incredibly difficult to stay faithful even if he is in love. The only other option for a man to feel completely secure in a relationship is when he isn't in love with his lady. And I know it for a fact because I've done it myself. So that might be the real reason why women feel so secure in their relationships, concluded Rimko. Maro only smiled and lit another joint.